Thank you all very much for joining me and getting together again on this Wednesday, midweek meditation. I hope it is of some benefit, and I guess because you keep coming back, then I take that as a bit of a sign that you're getting something from it. So tonight we've had a few newcomers join from the very first session, so I thought I'd just go back a little bit for some of the new people. So some of the techniques we cover tonight might be a repeat for some of you, but that's okay. There's not all that many, to be honest, so it's not like we're going to be doing a brand new technique every single week. And the idea is that you might just pick one or two that you love and you do them frequently. Some people just do breathing meditation and that's it, nothing else. So my intent here is to give you a variety of techniques that you can use at different times of the day, different times of the week. And also you might find one that just really clicks for you and you go, oh, that's fantastic, I really get a lot out of that one, and you stick with it. So tonight, if you find yourself in a comfortable position, if you're seated, then try to sort of sit forward up off the back of the chair, because the idea is that you don't want to sort of slump and slouch back into the chair and therefore get sleepy. You want to try and keep your back upright. And that's about the only thing that I've found that's 100% common amongst all the different schools of meditation, is that spine and the back sitting up straight, not rigid and like a soldier, but straight. That really helps keep you awake, keep that energy flowing, and help you breathe. If you're sitting in a chair, your feet should be flat on the floor, about shoulder hip width apart, in line with your knees. If you're sitting on a cushion, then you're cross-legged, and you can do that however you wish. If you can't do the full lotus with both legs up on each other, then that's perfectly fine. Half lotus with one leg up maybe, or Burmese where both legs are flat on the floor, sort of one in front of each other. It really isn't too much of a issue. Just find a position that you can sit in for a little while and that's stable. That's the most important thing. So I thought I'd cover the hand one again, just because there's a few people who haven't done this before. So this is a really good one to center you if you've had a traumatic day, like if your day's been very hectic and heavy, or if you are prone to panic attacks or anxiety attacks, then this one can help bring you into a center quite quickly. So with one hand, and it doesn't matter which, just hold it up in front of you. With the other finger on the other hand, you trace your fingers of that hand. But as you're tracing, you're breathing. So as you trace up, you breathe in. As you trace down, you breathe out. And you want to try and keep your tracing of your fingers in time with your breathing. So as you reach the top of the finger, you've reached the top of your in-breath. And then you breathe out. And as you reach the bottom of your finger, you've reached the bottom of your in-breath. So it's nice and slow and calming. You're linking a physical movement with your breathing. So watch your finger. Really notice with your eyes how it moves. Notice also the touch sensation of one finger against the other. There might be vibration, especially if your skin is dry, a little bit of vibration. It's not as smooth. So again, you want to bring as much mindfulness and attention to all the different senses, the touch, the sound if there's any, the sight, and then link that also with your breathing. Once you get to the end, you can just go back again. You can go backwards and forwards as many times as you wish to try to bring yourself into a calm sort of sensation. If you do have a little bit of a pause between breaths, then stop. So maybe at the top of your inhalation, if you pause, and stop your finger before you exhale. If you get to the bottom and there's a pause in your breath just naturally, then stop your finger. Because your hand is close to your face, your vision is close to your face, and you start to realize that you're not paying attention to what's happening around you, even though you've got a lot of peripheral vision. That starts really coming in, and you start really focusing on this point in front of you. So our vision is coming in, our breathing is slowing down, linking with physical touch. And we can bring ourselves into a calm, relaxed state quite quickly. This is also a really nice one to do with kids, with young children if they find they're getting into a bit of a state of panic. You can even hold up their hand and trace their hand with your finger, or vice versa. So now if you just lower your hands into your lap, we'll change our focus to our body, to our whole body, and do a few body scans. So your focus is probably still on your hands. So let's start there. With our hands resting in our lap, just let them fall naturally. Just let your fingers curl naturally. And start scanning our body up our arms. You can either scan just your whole arm, or you can focus on the skin. We can focus on the bone. Keep scanning up our arms, letting them deliberately fall, relaxed, until we scan up to our shoulders. Here you might want to just deliberately pull them back a little and down. That helps keep you upright and in enough attention to focus on your meditation without getting too lazy, but also helps relax your shoulder muscles. And then we keep scanning up our head, back of our neck, back of our head, up to our crown, where we visualize a piece of string just pulling our crown very gently up to the sky. Keep scanning over the top of your head and down your forehead. And again, you might need to deliberately just relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Let them close naturally and gently. Or you can keep them open if you wish. Now scan down our nose. Just checking in with our nose. We're breathing in and out through our nose. Scanning down to our mouth. And again, deliberately let that relax. Our lips are very gently touching, possibly even just slightly open, with your tongue resting behind your top teeth. And then our chin, which is slightly tucked in. It tilts our head forward just a bit, which lengthens our neck. So now scanning back, our chin, mouth, nose, eyes, forehead, over the top of our head to our crown, down the back of our head to our neck, shoulders, back down our arms, to our elbows, all the way down our forearms to our hands, Letting our hands just relax completely and fall naturally to wherever they are. Usually somewhere just between our legs. You don't need to do any particular mudra, any particular shape. Just let them fall. Now scanning back up our arms. Keep going up our arms to our shoulders. Notice any tension we might have along the way. Now let's follow our spine. Visualizing our spine nice and tall and straight, but also relaxing. Don't want to keep ourselves too rigid and tight. Scanning down to our hips, around our hips and down our legs. Checking in here for any tension or soreness. Keep scanning down, all the way down to our feet. Here we might feel the floor under our feet, the cushion under our ankles as we scan down to our toes. Now let's keep going back. Toes, feet, ankles, heading up our legs. I'll be quiet for a few moments and let you do a scan or two on your own. If your mind should wander to dinner or your children or any other topic, just gently bring it back to your body without judgment or criticism. Now let's change our focus of attention to our breath. And again, with our breath, you can place your attention either on your nose the tip of your nose, or just between your nose and your upper lip. Some people can feel the breath coming in and out there, and so it's a good place to focus your attention as you breathe. Or you can focus on your chest, moving and rising and falling as you breathe. Or alternatively, your belly, as it rises as you breathe in and falls as you breathe out. And our job here is to watch without judgment or criticism or evaluation. We're watching our body do its thing. And I've quickly mentioned in past weeks about counting your breath, which will help stay focused and also helps us become more quickly aware when our mind has wandered, before we stop counting. So as we breathe in, then out, that's 1. Breathe in, then out is 2. 3, and we count 4, 5, all the way up to 10, and then from 10 back down to 1. So a new focus for tonight is on our breath and the parts of our breath. So if we really tune our attention to our breath, we'll notice that at the beginning of the inhalation, it starts off slow and grows to the middle, where we are inhaling faster and quicker. And then it tapers off toward the end until it completely stops. The same again with our exhalation. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. A little bit like a football, pointy at the front, where it grows from nothing and increases in speed and volume to the middle, and then quickly tapers away again until it stops. So let's turn our attention to these 3 parts of each inhalation and exhalation. And see if we can notice the beginning, the middle, and the end of each of those parts of breath. And if your mind has wandered, gently bring it back to your breath. And if that isn't quite enough to focus on, now let's see if we can identify the pause at the top of the inhalation. Or maybe you don't have a pause. You go straight into the exhalation. And do you have a pause at the bottom of the exhalation? Or do you go straight in to the next in-breath? So there are 8 parts to one round of breath. Tapered beginning, middle, a tapered end, followed by maybe a pause or maybe a quick change in direction. Then a tapered beginning, a middle, and another tapered ending before maybe a pause or a change in direction. And in this technique, our mind is there to observe all 8 with as much clarity as possible. So in your own time, you can open your eyes and attend to any parts that have fallen asleep or anything that needs to be stretched. And I quickly wanted to mention tonight a bit of an attitude that we should try and develop towards our meditation practice. And this is an attitude of non-striving. Because what mindfulness does, the whole point of mindfulness, is to train our mind to notice the world as it really is, both the external world and the internal world. We're looking at things right here and now, and we're starting to learn, we're starting to be able to recognize that we add a lot to that. So like last week when we were looking at sounds, it's just a sound, and we add a lot to that sound. We label it with whether it's a car or a motorbike or a dog, and then we might put an emotion on it, like I don't like that, or I do like that, or that sounds like a really hotted up car. Are they hoons driving that? That sort of thing. So we add things to our world. And we can also add things to our meditation practice. We can expect to be better at meditation or mindfulness than we are. We can expect to move more quickly towards being very mindful all day long. But as soon as we start trying to strive for a goal, we put a barrier in front of ourselves. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because yes, we do want to try and sit for a little bit every day and to develop our mindfulness. But we don't really want to attach a goal to how fast we should be moving, how good we should be at mindfulness. We don't want to be shooting all over ourselves, really. So we want to try and, push ourselves a little bit to go, okay, I'm going to sit every morning for 10 minutes. But we move as quickly along the path towards, a professional mindful guru as we move. There's different for everybody. Some people will move very quickly and pick up skills very quickly, and others won't, just like learning any new skill. So we try to come to this mindfulness practice with an attitude of non-striving. So while this sometimes sets us up to achieve great things, that means having a goal. So in meditation and in mindfulness, this type of striving actually puts a hurdle in our way. So has that made sense to people? Any questions or comments on that sort of philosophy of non-striving? Or any questions or comments in general about anything we've done tonight or more widely?
I like counting of the fingers and touching and feeling the fingers. That is a counting method plus touch of your own body is something that you can focus on and feel good about. I like that.
Yeah, that touch sensation really does add a very definite sort of dimension to that technique. Yes, that's why it's good for children or people who are in a real little bit of a panic. Yeah, and even if you're not in a panic at all, it's still very lovely. It brings you back to your body quite quickly.
Should it be in front of us, or it can be kept down below?
You certainly could do it lower than what I was. You do want to try and be looking at it as well, because then that's just one more sense that you're involving. So you could sort of have it lower down in your lap as you do it. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So yeah, that was a bit of a revision from one we did earlier several weeks ago now. And the body scanning I think we've done with everybody. And you can see I changed it up a little tiny bit tonight. We started with our hands. So there's no reason to start with your feet every time. And then the breathing meditation, the breathing practice of mindfulness we've done before as well with counting. But I added in a little bit of those parts. Did everyone see those parts? Understand what I was meaning about a little bit of a sort of tapered beginning and a tapered end? With the breath coming in slowly at the beginning and then increasing and then tapering off. And that's going to be different for everybody. And each breath may be different from the last as well. That's not good or bad, that's just the way your body works. Sorry, go.
Instead of 8, I could do only 3 up and 3 down. Like I couldn't find that 2 things in between.
Oh, okay. So it could be a pause. So as you breathe in and you reach the top of the inhalation, there's a slight pause before you start the exhalation. Or it could just be a change in direction. So you breathe in, then straight into the exhalation. So it's either a pause or it's just a straight change in direction. So that either one of those is that element. And then the same again at the bottom of the exhalation. It's either a slight pause before you breathe in again, or it's just simply a change in direction before you start the in-breath. So it's sort of considered what the fourth and the eighth element. Yeah. For me, I pause at the top and the bottom. Okay. Very good. Well, I hope everybody got something again out of tonight and you're feeling relaxed and calmed. I would encourage you to try and do some mindful meditation every day if you can. Again, with an attitude of non-striving, it doesn't matter if you miss a day or two. Just recommit and go back to whatever you've planned or told yourself you will do. For as long as you can. So if you can sit for 4 hours, then, go for it. But I would suggest that you start with, 10, 15 minutes. And then over the weeks, build that up slowly, a few minutes every day, or a few minutes every week, I should say, until you're sitting for maybe 40 minutes. And that's really, if all you want to get out of this practice is a bit more mindfulness and to be a little bit more happy and see your moods and sort of have better relationships and things in life, then 40 minutes is all you need to do. If you are after something a bit more, you want to go deeper into yourself and experience a bit more of a esoteric sort of shift in your inner person, then you'll need to look for doing several hours a day over several days in a row for that to start happening. So it's whatever you want. Okay, with that, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. And I'll see you all next Wednesday night. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Thanks, Max.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone.